Let's see. I have to be the one to test it. Because I need to be making sure that there's not some nasty popping in the audio. And I think that it's okay. Yeah, I think it's okay. So I'll come down over here. Click this. And we can start. Hey guys, I am a disorganized wreck tonight, so I don't actually have anything ready to rock and roll, but I figured I'd get a little bit more work done. I was supposed to clean the office today. That's what I'm supposed to do on Mondays: clean, organize, get prepared for the week. But I had to work on a video, but I did finish it. It's the HDPlex 400 AC video final overview, and I will be uploading that after this. So how are y'all's days today? I am going to move some stuff around when everyone checks in. Sorry for being, again, 15-ish minutes late. I got the Inno3D 2060 card in. It's one of my customers' cards. I'm going to be doing a build with it eventually. It's going to be a brickless build. He wants a brickless build for it. And I don't really know how that's going to work because it's it literally touches the HDPlex. So I'm going to need to either pop this out and see if I can run the cables from the connector through it. Might have to solder, desolder, or put another 6-pin or 8-pin on the back side, remove the back plate. I don't know yet. But I did get it in. It does look cool. It's kind of a cool looking GPU. So I'll be able to play with that shortly and also do some benchmarks with it. I bought this labeler. It was actually really inexpensive for how high quality it is. And I was going to spend Sunday just kind of chill out, relaxing, and label my tool chest because I have that thing where, I'm always opening every single drawer to find what I need. And of course, I ran out of labels. And I bought like a ton of labels with it when I bought it. And I can't find it. Can't find the title to my motorcycle. Lost that. I mean, is that really a surprise with how messy this place is? I have never used that motherboard, Adam. Hello, Gabriel, Fabio. Record Needle asks, how much extra is a custom mini build? If you go to my website, nfc-systems.com/BOMS for bill of materials, I have prices for different types of builds. It does depend on how much modding and stuff there is, but you can see what it is. And I will also say that the parts, the actual cost of the parts, I don't mark up. We just buy them on B&H or Amazon. So the price there is just for labor. So I guess once I have this, I got the SSD and stuff in on Thursday for it. Might as well pop all that in. And the RAM. Where did I lose that? Normally I have all my customers' parts and everything over there on shelves and marked. But then I was playing with this and I moved it. Oh, right. So he was using a 2.5-inch SSD, not a M.2. So I guess you guys get to see that first. I think that we can install that in the bottom bracket, possibly. Yes'm. Okay. Grab me some mini screws for an SSD. I might have some here. Do have a little bag of S for Mini Classic screws. Look at that. Here we go. Did I manage to get that black power supply in the S4? The HDPlex 400? Is that what we're talking about? I have an HDPlex 400 right here in this build. Meant to do that. Nika asked where the parts. This is a build from last week. You're not actually late. I'm just now starting for today. I'm just starting on a build I've already worked on. This is a 9700K with a 1050 Ti, an HDPlex 400 AC, the first brickless build going to a customer using the HDPlex 400. Almost. There we go. Got it. A 2 terabyte Samsung 970 EVO M.2 drive NVMe, and a 2 terabyte MX500 SATA SSD from Crucial. Michael says, can I start making normal videos along with your streaming? I never seem to catch your streams. Well, two things. I do make normal videos, but I try to put a lot of work into them so they're nice, you know, nicely produced and don't waste your time. So that takes a long time to do. I am uploading one tonight, though, so that's a good thing. Number two, all the streams are recorded. So if you go to playlists, you can watch every single live stream that I have done if you care to. But the real fun of the live streams, I'm always saying this, is the fact that we get to interact as a community and ask questions. So if you do watch it, make sure you enable the chat. Nika asks if I plan on doing a Hackintosh. I do Hackintoshes, I would say pretty regularly, considering how niche and rare they are. I don't do a lot of them, but a lot more than, I guess, the average person. They're always a pain in the butt. All right, now I need a cable, a cable for that. Which may be difficult. Whoa, did I just score another HD? Awesome. Do you know what's awesome? I have this big box of power supplies. Actually, I have two big boxes of power supplies, two crates of power supplies, a 19 volt and a 12 volt. And then a miscellaneous volt. So three crates of power supplies. And I accidentally... It's always fun to find power supplies I misplaced. I misplaced an HDPlex 400 DC in there. So that's nice. That's free power supply goodness right there. things have gotten out of hand here as far as organization, mostly because it's that time of year where everything is a complete wreck. I have tons of systems to get out. There's always a big backup in December because of the computer industry is always trying to prepare for CS and Chinese New Year, and tax season. Count and do inventory and all that, and new projects people are signing on for the year, so it's kind of messy. And real life stuff has been assaulting me, hitting me over the head with a concrete cinder block over and over again. You guys know how it goes. So say some prayers for me and my friends, and let's do some computer modding. Dalton P asks, was the AC unit built to fit, or am I just lucky? And it's both. I'm lucky that it was built to fit. This is the HDPlex 400 AC, and Larry from HDPlex contacted. I'm going to tell you the whole story. My script for the video coming out tonight, more than half a year ago, actually. I say 6 months in the video, and said, hey, look, let's make this perfect. Let's make your dream power supply. And so he did. It's almost there. It's absolutely fantastic. It's my favorite product of 2019, for sure. And hopefully it won't stay my favorite product of 2019. I say that because I don't love it, but because I hope to release some products this year too. And if it's not my favorite product, then that means that I am not super thrilled with it, and I don't want to make anything that I'm not head over heels with. Hey, Embellis, good to see you, man. Thanks for popping in. You didn't miss anything. T-App says, why spend all this money on a small form factor computer system and then get a 2.5-inch SATA SSD? And I agree with you completely 100%. Don't do that. For this customer, though, he already had the SSD, is already purchased a new one and just didn't get around to installing it. So we'll cut him some slack. He couldn't return it and get another M.2. He bought another M.2 he's going to use as his primary drive, which you can see right in the middle there. But this one we can cut him some slack. Luckily, it is a 1050 Ti, which run very, very cool. Not going to be any big issues, and it doesn't really cover up most of that GPU anyway. Not that you couldn't run a hot GPU and the 2.5-inch drives, which I didn't start off not recommending. In fact, I told people, do not do that. But it actually seems to work out pretty good. I'm going to cut off the end of this because we don't need it. And this board does have 2 M.2 slots. So the customer can just upgrade that way, like we were just saying. Any new viewers in the stream tonight? Shout out where you're from. That would be great. I always like meeting new people and seeing what weird places they come from. Not that other places are necessarily weird, though some places are. Greenland's pretty weird. Gotta give me that. But just weird how YouTube can find people all around the world and send them to this channel. Pretty cool. Weird in a cool way. I like to, when I cut cables like this, I don't cut it straight. So it's like it's a parallel with the edge of the connector. I cut it at an angle. And the reason I cut it at an angle is so the wires don't end up touching each other and could short something out. That way I do not have to individually heat shrink the ends of each cable. And because this is a SATA cable, there's grounds in between the 5 volts and the 3.3 volts too, so that further reduces the chance of, I gotta go down here, a problem. Hey, Gabriel. Currently living in New York, but from Brazil. Teach me a Portuguese word. That would be great. Italian, but in New York City. It would be super cool to get a population map of viewers because I have people from all over the world who are mini customers for sure. I don't sell a lot of product, right? So this is why this is so impressive. 77 or 78 countries worldwide, and it's scattered everywhere. Australia, Montenegro, Greece. Wow, that's impressive. Finland, home of my favorite drink ever, Pommac. I had a pen pal friend when I was a late teenager, about to turn 20, I suppose, from Finland. Great guy. And he would send me a Christmas card every year until I moved and lost the address. But he sent me some Pommac. That stuff is amazing. It's like a barrel aged, I guess, soda, like a grape soda, kind of not like a grape drink like we think of, but like a white wine, but a soda. I don't know. I guess that's how I would describe it. Do I really need to do this? That did turn out good because I wasn't paying attention. I don't like that. That's ugly. Ugly. So I'm cutting that out. Record Neater asks, is it possible to make a version with a handle at the top? I wanted a handle for the Mini since I designed this thing. I want a leather handle for the Mini. And the best handles you can get in the world are made in Nashville. They are for guitar amps, like musical instrument amps. And they're handmade. And you can actually bolt with these outer panel bolts the guitar amp handle on it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful amps. I wanted to resell them, but the guy wasn't really super into that. But that's what I recommend that you do. Go buy some guitar amp handles, measure it and everything, and then screw them down. Moscato. That sounds like a kind of thing that I would give my wife to eat with coffee, like a cookie. And how do I say that word? Saudade? The feeling of missing something is a good word. Like if nostalgia, kind of. Is that kind of what it means? Mo2Mo1Mo says, I am from Sudan and one of the earliest buyers of the S4. You know, I've only sold like one computer to Sudan for the S4MC. Was it an S4MC or was it for an S4 Skyreach 4 Mini? Because I don't have the numbers for those right in front of me, but that would be awesome. Okay, I gotta try this. Actually, you know what? I don't need to link them again. Why don't I just cut them at the base using my super precise... What are these called? I really like this brand. They're made in Italy. CHP 170. Don't actually know what the brand is. Kind of failing. Yeah, CHP, I guess. Quality hand tools from Italy. I call them side snips, but I'm sure that there's a actual technical term for what these are. There we go. Super nice and clean. Oh yeah, Moscato is a white fizzy wine. See, I wouldn't know that because that would be considered a girly drink where I'm from. Now, I'm not saying it's a girly drink over there, but that would be considered a girly drink. Rosetta, Moscato, all those you can't drink here without being ribbed. And you can't, I can't pronounce wine names anyway, but that's why you say things like Cab or Pinot. Poor Italians, they're like, it hurts my ears. Hey, I live in Mississippi right now. You're lucky that I can even read the chat, so. Harris asks if I have more S4s for sale. I don't right now. I only have them available for full builds. And it's one of those things I feel kind of dirty about because on the one hand, I want to sell the product to people that want it. On the other hand, I have to pay my bills, and I need to pay my bills by doing full builds, so I save the cases that are left to do those builds, and working as hard as I can to get cases for people that want to do their own builds down the line. Jamie, you keep asking. Kevin might show up and give you an answer. I submitted my, whatever you would call it, the final notes and revisions and final CAD, and he made a prototype but not with my CAD, and I said let's make these changes if you like them and you think that they're a good idea, and you know, it's the ball is now in Kevin's court. It's probably my court, but I like to push it off on the people. But you know, he's so busy with what he does and I'm busy with what I do, so this process takes a while, but I hope that we'll have something soon, because yeah, that would be a great gap in between. And I'm just gonna say right now, it's a it is a mini layout PC. There are some updates to it. There's some really cool innovations that I want to test out, and I think that the Laser 3D case is a good way of doing it, and it will hold the gap in between whatever I'm doing next. You know, I was supposed to come up with a nice launch video and be a reveal, but you know, I just feel like telling you guys, so that's what we're working on. Where's the screen? That's one fat laptop. I see what you did there. Except this laptop runs almost completely silent and is quite upgradable. You can throw out any kind of part that you want, test it and tune it, and it ends up being a lot cheaper than buying a laptop with similar specs. Hey, Chad. Chad's super surprised. I don't think Chad is actually super surprised. Okay, this is all built now. Let's see, check. I need an SSD cable. I would prefer to, where is my small SSD cables? Where are my shorties? Seen one in quite some time, so this might be a job for the box. This is just one of those boxes where I throw out weird cables and some SATA cables. I don't actually collect SATA cables anymore because I collected so many of them, because each motherboard comes with 2 that I have so many, but just weird sized ones. Pedro asks, is that an internal power supply in the S4? It is. The magnificent brand new HDPlex 400 AC which is incredible. And I have a review / overview video. I'm going to launch that tonight. I finished editing it right before this video. I just need to upload it. But you don't need to bother watching it. Just go buy it. It's awesome. Hoping I have one of those 4-inch ones left. I'm gonna throw this box out come spring cleaning. Aha! Robin, are you in the way again? Can you open the door? Thank you. Love you. Harris says, is that an AC power supply? Yes, it is. It's also have a DC-DC converter inside of it in the front. There, that doesn't look so bad. I hate using those 2.5-inch drives because you have to use the SATA connectors and they're so ugly, but not so bad, not so bad. And with the lid on, can't really see it. Looks really good. So, other than the big old Crucial sticker. I might use a Hika and take that off. I have to talk to the customer first. Ooh, it's so pretty. I love these things. I love how they feel. The smoothness of the panels. So nice. Because that's the real thing. Like, one of the reasons that this computer case costs so very much, I say it over and over again, I know I'm a broken record, is the finishing. And not everybody can do the finishing like this, so there's only actually one group I know that can. But it has that super fine hairline brush finish. So you can see it looks, and it has a brush, and the brush wraps over without any like bin marks. But when you go to touch it, it feels super smooth and satiny. You don't get that rough, nasty, like you normally would get with anodizing. It's just, I really like it. Really like it a lot. Put this guy here for now. All right, next puppy. I feel bad because I feel bad about a lot of things. don't know what you mean, Dalton. You'll have to clarify. The cooler video is, I don't know, no timeline. I'm going to work on it next Friday. I work on videos on Fridays now. Edit videos and stuff, so we'll see. It's done. I just need to make the video. This one is a Zotac 1080. Looks like an AM4 motherboard. Let's open it up and see. I ruined my good screwdriver. Oh, that's such a bummer. Luckily, Chad got me a new one. Man. I went to help a friend out. He's a truck driver, and his wife, their car broke down, so she couldn't really drive anywhere while he was gone. So I went to go replace what I thought was the ignition control module, because when I got the message, I thought I heard him say that it's not the starter because he just replaced it. So I went through everything else it could possibly be, which was a big waste of time because it was the starter. But when I went to go test it, I laid it across the two prongs, but because there was some kind of electrical problem in the starter itself, it basically welded my screwdriver to it and ruined the tip. This has been a really faithful screwdriver for me too. Maybe I can put it on the sanding belt, make it like a stubby number 2. I don't know, but I don't think this is gonna work. It is destroyed. My screwdriver is magnetic. All I gotta do is get a magnet and go like this. And then it's magnetic. For a little while anyway. Arison, that's a good suggestion, but I will never do that. So, for reasons, there's already too much competition in that field, and what am I going to add to it? You know, it has to be more than just style. Got to have some substance. I make the Mini because I love it. At the end of the day, if people already made the Mini, there'd be no real reason for me to continue to making it. Okay, so this needs cables. We know that much. It's like the customer put Velcro back behind it. And I guess he wants me to... Oh, I made this cable for him a while back. Hope I get it right. Plug that in there. Find a nut for this. Drill out the back. Ew. And call it a day. Test it and make sure it works, of course. So I'm gonna go, let's see, should I? I'll do it the right way. And since I'm here, I will check the got the key correct. Hey Mason Kane, thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate that. Thumbs up. You know, Harris, I would like to do that myself, but I'm really hoping that a customer will do it. There's not a lot of people that do crazy mods with them yet. Maybe because they just think it's perfect by itself. But I would like to see more done like that. Who says the Laser 3D case won't support a SFX power supply? Well, oh yeah, mine. Yeah, it won't. It won't. SFX power supplies are gross, especially because we have this guy now, and this guy makes them in this format obsolete, in my opinion. That's ooh, that's not the correct place to plug that into, is it? No, I'm sorry, this is not. Different motherboard. This customer did the Noctua mod. It's not really mod, but it's where you take off the fan and heat shroud of the 1080, and then you can put two. I always get the name of the fans wrong. NF14, the Noctua 92 slim millimeter fans. I was wondering if I could do that, but no, you can't. The small power supplies allow safe overclocking. It depends on what you're trying to do. I mean, when you're building it in a Mini, there's only so much overclocking you can do anyway because you're working with really tiny heat sinks. So generally people go for efficient builds and do undervolting rather than trying to get higher clock rates out of them, because I mean you're gonna need good cooling. But it can peak at up to 460 watts. The shutoff is 460 watts. It holds for 1 second there, so it just depends on what you're overclocking and by how much. But it's a very good product, very efficient product as well. Yeah, I'm going to have to take out the front bezel. Yeah, it has thermal protection. It has current protection, all that stuff, if that's what you're asking. I was thinking about that. I actually got a air dryer for my air compressor because I'm trying to bring powder coating back to my shop so I can actually do it again. And I was wondering, you know what? I wonder if this thing is sealed enough to where I can run liquid through it and make this one heck of a awesome water chiller. But then I decided that I would resist that temptation and not do that. I'll let Linus do that. Okay, I disassembled the case. He did a good job. He did a good job with that. I disagree with the Velcro strongly, but he did a really good job. Nice, neat job putting everything together. Very nice, neat job with the fans. Jonathan Morgan says, what do you think the ideal GPU for the Mini is? Customers and practice have taught me that really all the NVIDIA 10 series cards were great ideal GPUs for the Mini with the right hardware. And so it's hard to say. I'm looking forward to a well-built 2050 Ti. That's what I'm looking forward. I wouldn't mind if it being a little bit longer, so maybe we can have dual fans, a dual fan 2050 Ti without power connectors. That would be my ideal card for the Mini. Because the 1050 Ti already is amazing for my needs. So that would be my ideal card. For other people's cards, if I was going to suggest it, probably a 2060. I haven't tested it yet. I'm going to be testing this Ina 3D one. It's not really a drop-in solution, though, for a brickless build. It actually is going to require some heavy modding, some advanced modding. So I can't really call that an ideal build in that sense. But, just 6 months ago, the Mini was considered a computer case that you ran an external brick with. It's only just now that people are completely not allowing that to be on the table. Embellis asks a cool question. What are all the cases you've made for retail? I've got S4 and the S3, but are there any others? For retail, the only computer cases would be the S4 Mini Classic and the Skyreach 4 Mini retail. And that's part of the obsession that I had with it. I wanted to make a luxury case that was available in retail so people could go and they could buy it. As far as computer cases that I've made a significant run of and then sold them in private sales, but not directly to customer as a customer commission, I had the ARC chassis, which you can see on my website, the S1, which was called something completely different, the S3 Elite. For the S3, there's actually 3 versions. There's the S3 Slim, which was the first version. I didn't call it the Slim then, but now I've named it the Slim. And then 2.0 and 3.0. And they're all different as far as the S3 goes. And then the S4 series. Of course, I made a lot of custom commission builds where I just do 1 or 2 of them. But those are the ones where I've made a significant number. I'm going to go drill this. And I shall be right back. I have a cool drilling station set up in my shop, and it's not too messy, so it should not take me long. I just need to find... I guess I'll just use this. This will work. All right, see you in a second. Hello again. One second. Okie dokie. Smoky. Tom asks, would the RTX 570 work with the 400? You know, if you have any GPU that has a connector at the end of it, which the total length is under 215 millimeters, then it will work with the HDPlex 400 AC internally. But you can always use this as an external power brick. It is half the size of the Dell 330 and much more powerful. So, you don't need to be afraid of using it with something like a 20 Ti Mini when it comes out. Nope, this has to go first. Let's see if I can do as good a job as my customer did. This is where I usually put it. The Zotac 1070 Mini fit in the S4 Mini? No, it does not. And the reason is, with the HDPlex 400, because it's too wide. And again, you're welcome to ask these questions. I don't mind answering them. But I do have a video on this coming out tonight. I'm going to upload it. Start uploading it right after this. And it's a 4K video. So usually when it uploads, YouTube has it as a low resolution. You have to wait for it to process the higher resolution. So you can wait a minute if you care. And if you don't care, well then you can watch it at potato res. Okay, now I'm going to put this in, get that out of the way. And I gotta find a new nut because I don't think that he shipped one back to me. At least it wasn't in his box. But that should not be a problem. Because I have extras. Can you post a Google form asking about demographics? I don't know what that means. Don't see why I would have a problem with it. All right, now the coup de grace. Shall be. I thought that looked weird. You guys didn't say anything though, so I'm not gonna beat myself. I'm gonna beat myself up about it. I need to make the font bigger on the computer. Can barely read it. There we go. Are people asking about this card? It's the 1080 Ti Mini. Which I was about to install upside down. Because I am not smart. Yeah, no, that sounds great. Embellis. Let me go over there and click that. So I guess this is a form that lets you guys ask questions about where you're at and what cases you were looking at. Fine with me. As always, thanks for your help, Embellis. I really need the community to get anything done. Cisco Hobbs, hi from Scotland. You are most welcome, my good man. What am I doing wrong here? And yes, I think Robert the Bruce would beat William Wallace in a fight. As badass as William Wallace is. Excuse my language, but it is William Wallace we're talking about, so. Everything's nice and dandy. I'm actually going to get some zippy ties now. Make this a little bit cleaner. Speaking of console gaming, we have the Super Nintendo that came out, the little mini Nintendo. What's it called? I don't know, but the one that just came out, I was pretty excited to get it. It's one of the few things I actually stood in line to go get, and I was really sick too. But my wife, she is really good at those games, and she's going through and beating all of them one by one, and she's almost beat Mega Man, which is a game that my best friend and I played at his house when I was 10 years old. One summer we just played Mega Man, and it took us forever, and we never beat it. We beat all the bosses, and we got to the final boss, and the final boss has like 2 stages or 3 stages, but like one of the stages after you beat the final boss, and you don't get a break or power-ups or health or anything like that, is you have to fight all the bosses in succession. So brutal. That's back when games were like, if you beat the game, you actually accomplish something. But I'm rooting for her to finish it. But really, what's going to be pressed is if she beats Super Ghosts and Ghouls, because that, I tried to play like 5 minutes of that recently, and I was like, nope, not going to happen. She plays the old school Nintendo games that she grew up with. So that's what she'll play. Actually, speaking of games, is there anybody here that would want to get a Civilization 6 group going? I love Civilization. It has its flaws. It's not the greatest game ever, especially multiplayer, but I still love it and I like to play it, and it'd be fun to like plan one once a month. That would be really fun. So if you want to play Civilization with me and you can dedicate 4 hours for a game in one sitting, let me know. And maybe we can even continue it to next month. Do a really long ongoing game. That'd be fun. Mr. Overcompensation, which is a apt name for this build. I should call this build Mr. Overcompensation, because it is a brutally powerful 1080 Ti build. But it's I'm making it. The customer sent it in. He bought a Eurocom 780, and he wanted me to make a custom power inlet for it so he could plug it into his HDPlex 400. So that's what I did, and now I'm reassembling it. Heard of the Madbox, Josh? No, I have not heard of the Madbox. I'm not really up to date on really current events or games or anything like that. I kind of live in my own little world. I heard that Apex is a thing. I don't know what Apex is, but I know it's a game. It's a thing. So the only games I actually end up playing a lot are the games that my customers play. So I'll end up playing them on the customer build. After I do every customer build, I use it for 3 days. And I use it as a normal computer. I web browse on it. I do some minor Photoshop work, that kind of stuff. And I play some games on it just to make sure there's nothing weird or wonky about it. Because if you just install Windows and call it a day, you don't really know if it's really stable, even if it passes some benchmarks. So, you don't want to buy this for one. This is insanely stupid expensive, and they're hard to get a hold of. This is the Eurocom 780. It is a approximately 780 watt output, 19 volt power supply. Very beefy unit, very strong unit. This one's been modded. Looks like it's one that I modded a long time ago. That's interesting how things come back to me. I made it for somebody else, and I guess that somebody else sold it. Anyway, 780 watt power supply. But the new HDPlex 400 AC is actually strong enough to power the 1080. So this is like, I don't know how much this is. It's super expensive. You guys can Google and find out, but it's hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And this guy right here is $118, and it can power this exact same system, and it's much smaller. It's awesome technology. I'm gonna have a video of it releasing tonight. Apex is like better than Fortnite. What's Fortnite? No, I'm just kidding. My kids all know what Fortnite is. They always come home like doing Fortnite dances, and like, where'd you learn that? What are you doing? And they'll say it's a Fortnite dance. Or they'll tell me what the dance is called, and I'll have to Google it to make sure what they're watching at school, and it turns out it's Fortnite stuff. I have played Fortnite. I was really bad at it. I played PUBG for a long time, couple months after it came out, and I had a group of friends that we all played that. We had a lot of fun playing that. I just couldn't play I liked Fortnite better than PUBG in every single way. I just thought it required too much dexterity for me. And someone suggests I should play Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I don't know about that. I played the first Assassin's Creed. I went to go visit a friend off in a faraway state, and it turned out he had to work. But he had the first Assassin's Creed when it was brand new, and a brand new LCD television. It was awesome. Giant, awesome 1080p, high-end LCD. And like, I loved the idea of the game, this open world game, beautiful game, set in Jerusalem, awesome, beautiful graphics, really cool controls. But like, there was like no real content in it. You know, you murdered people, but I mean, there wasn't really anything to it. And the story started off interesting. I really liked the story, and that's why I kept playing it. But then it kind of went weird, I thought, with the real world kind of tapping back into a dream type of thing. It was just, I didn't get it. And still, I ended up playing because my friends would get it, and they were all obsessed with it. So I'd go over to their house, and we'd like do sleepover parties and stuff like that. And they'd play the game. So I ended up playing like 4 of them. I think Black Flag was the last one I played. It was really cool. There's a lot of cool things about it. Anyway, I don't know why I'm rambling on, but every single one of them, I don't get them. I'm not really into them. I love the open world aspect. I love the graphics. It's cool to be a pirate in Black Flag, but I don't know, like the gameplay just. But I will admit, I have seen some trailers for Odyssey, and like that looks really cool. But it looks really cool. It's gonna trick me. Age of Empires 4. Age of Empires 4. Yes, that will be amazing. I know nothing about that. Did they have any more info about it? But Age of Kings is my favorite game ever, of all time. Is that true? I think so. Yeah. Age of Kings, Ocarina of Time, and World of Warcraft. The vanilla World of Warcraft. Those are my favorite games of all time. Then Half-Life comes after, but if I can only pick 3, the original Half-Life. So, I guess that's why we do these live streams to talk about stupid stuff. But that was fun. We should talk more about favorite games. If you guys want to sound off and say what your favorite game is ever, I'd be interested. That would be something I would think is very interesting. So, list that off, and I'll read it later. If I don't read it now in the chat, I will definitely go back and read it later. So, what's your favorite game of all time? It doesn't have to be good. One of my favorite games ever is Oni by Bungie. Terrible game, but definitely one of my favorites. Hey, Joseph. Good to see you, man. All right. I was doing work, and then you guys distracted me with fun. So, what's the next step here? Bolting this sucker down. Yeah, the S3 Elite's no more, but it was all about design concepts. A lot of which made it into future minis. And some of which will make it into future minis still. Dishonored, Chaos. Yeah, you guys, I think those like your favorite games. Like, how long have you been playing games? Because those are all like new games, which is totally fine. But just kind of curious. Tomb Raider 2013. Which one was that? Was that just when they relaunched the Lara Croft? I played that game and it was really good. I was really impressed that they resurrected that with the one by Square Enix. They resurrected that genre. Did a great job. Even the movie they made was, as far as bad video game movies, it was actually pretty okay. Need for Speed. I played a lot of Need for Speed Most Wanted. That was a lot of fun. Civ 4, I can't tell you how much Civ 4 I have played. It's stupid. And also, I can't tell you because it was before Steam tracked a lot of your playtime. The HDPlex 400 absolutely can power 2080. And I'm going to say this throughout the stream as people join, but I have a video coming out tonight reviewing the HDPlex 400, and it includes some information that you guys are going to want to know, but it's awesome. And yes, absolutely, 9700K 2080, no tuning, amazing. 2080 Ti with 9700K, minimal tuning, easy mode, don't have to know anything about tuning to get it right. So what don't you like about the new Tomb Raider? Which is totally cool if you don't like it. I'm just curious. It has a lot of stuff that I don't like in games. I don't care about collecting or skinning or making stuff. So when I play Skyrim and stuff, I could care less about that kind of thing. But I did kind of like the Resident Evil. What would you call that? The reaction type of gameplay where you're kind of going along. It's like a game you can chill out with and play, and then like an event happens and you have to press buttons. I kind of like that. It's kind of fun. Ooh, Link to the Past, Super Metroid, yeah. But those are almost cheating. But yeah, those are so good. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? You bet I played that game. My dad is the guy that got me into computers, and he was like, a giant Apple fan when they came out, and he was writing database programming software with database programming software. So we always had computers to play old school games on. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Battle Chess, Oids, of course, the Oregon Trail, multiple versions of that. Prince of Persia, which went through so many revisions. It's ridiculous how many revisions Prince of Persia went on. On the PC, that's why I always thought Macs were better gaming computers, which they were back then. But on the PC, like the Prince of Persia was like terrible graphics, like 3 colors, blocky characters, and MIDI music. And the Prince of Persia for the Mac was beautiful, 256 colors, beautiful music. Not right now, baby. Thank you. In this case, can it fit an R5 2400G with an all-in-one on the GPU side? Yes, I have a video on that on my home page. Go to my home NFC YouTube page, click on my name, and it's like the 3rd video down. That's exact build I did. It was a 2400G. Oh yeah, 2400G. So yes, exact same build. It's distracting me with video games again. Yeah, my dad wouldn't let me play the old Tomb Raider games. Probably a good thing. But I was a big Indiana Jones fan, so I wanted to play them. And then Indiana Jones ripped off Tomb Raider with a terrible Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine, which I still loved because it was Indiana Jones. But Joseph Cano asked one of my favorite questions of the night, besides the what video games do you like? What do I do with all my Noctua badges? And unfortunately, you probably will never see it, but on the side of my tool chest, it's decked. I mean, it is decked with them. It's plated in Noctua badges and Intel badges. So that's what I do with my badges. We don't talk about that, Tom Brown, in my channel. There are certain things we don't talk about, and we don't talk about that. All right. Very nice. Oh, I played the old Tomb Raider games. Like the Gold Edition games and all that. I just went back and played them later. Is that a custom fan mount on the GPU? No, it uses the SkyBracket Duo, which comes with the S4M. The SkyBracket Duo works as either a fan mount or a 2.5-inch SSD mount. And you can mount it on the bottom or the top. And right now it's mounted on the bottom over the 2080 Ti. Oops, I forgot to plug in. I'll probably screw in my motherboard first, and then we'll talk about that. Some ports. And it's actually, I did it kind of like a what if, I can do it, so let's do it. But it actually ended up working for some video cards. The 2080 Ti is kind of a noisy card, so this changes the tone a little bit and makes it much more tolerable in my opinion. I can indeed, Cirrus. When I get totally covered. I probably will start putting them all over the front of it too, but maybe I should be fair. I don't want to look like I'm sponsored by Noctua. I'm just a big fan of the way they do things. That's kind of my spirit animal for computer components is Noctua. They do exactly like I like to. They like what they like. They want to do what they want to do first, and they listen to their customers. They think about it. They make prototypes at CES, and they're like, we think our way is better. And it's really good. It really is really good. So, I mean, they released the Chromax fans as kind of like an appeasement, and they're so ugly looking. So, sometimes it's good to do your thing. You probably can email Noctua if you want more Noctua accessory stuff. I mean, those companies are really good at providing those weird little odds and ends. Siegfried, don't bother. My video cooler video is not out yet, but if you haven't bought it, there's not really a big point in doing that, other than it looks cool. That's your fair warning. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Noctua. Yeah. I agree. I think Noctua fans are the best in the industry. They're just so good. And I guess that's really high praise because there's a lot of fans that are really, really good. Well, here's the thing. If I'm buying a Radiator fan today, I'm probably going to buy the Fractal Design Venturi fans because they're very well built. They sound really good. They're very powerful, have really good high stack hair pressure, and they're very affordable. And when you're building a rig and you're putting a lot of fans in something, fans are expensive. So I probably would recommend that. But for air cooling, I would go Noctua. Now, a fan that's been my favorite in the past for water cooling, for high density fan, is the EK Vardar, which I'm probably not saying correctly. But the Fractal Design Venturi is, I think, a better buy now because they're like half the price of the Vardar. And they're really a ripoff of them. Yes, Siegfried, I definitely have. Again, that will be in a future video. I've already shot the footage. I've already done the testing. But it's not really that great. So, Be Quiet fans are good. They're a great choice. I've been impressed with all of them. I have a bunch now on my shelf I need to do some testing on. But initial impressions are good. And Noise Blocker, I like a Noise Blocker because they're making things that other people aren't. I gotta be careful what I say, but I do think they're very pricey, and I'm not quite sure about this. I don't prefer the build quality of them. I'm not saying they're bad, but there's something about the Venturi fans, the EK Vardar, and of course the Noctua fans, which just feels like you spent $25 and you don't feel bad about it. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Overcompensation, there's no resolution on that, unfortunately. But we're getting that person a 570. Thanks to Chad, who's I think in the chat, and Jim Bond. So thanks to those two people, we have a replacement video card. Very nice. I don't think that Zalman no longer makes good CPU coolers. They still make the same stuff they've been making forever, and I really like Zalman coolers. I don't know if they've kind of kept up in the technology with everybody else, but some of their coolers are really good because they're so weird in different categories. Like the CNPS 2X is my favorite 1U cooler. Yeah, it's definitely my favorite 1U cooler. Great product. Really torn up. What happened here? This is, I think I've talked about this before, but when I put this 24 pin, this is the stock HDPlex 24 pin, not the Skywire one on my site that I sell. I sell cables that are all the perfect length for a mini build on my website, so it makes it easier. But if you're using the stock HDPlex one, you just twist it a little bit. Oops, did I do it the right way? Yeah, I did do it the right way. And then you can tuck it in like that, push it down in the front, and pop it in, and it's a little bit neater that way. It makes things easy. And if you want to come back with a zip tie or a twisty tie, you can, and make it look even neater. Yeah, Chad, the LP, the little LP, what's that called? I don't remember what it's called, but the little cooler from Korea, that works really well too, but I like the CNPS 2X. I really like it. And I also like that scythe that you sent me, but you can't really buy that anymore. So it's not really worth recommending, I guess. And the Zalman looks way cooler. Okay, so I gotta get this guy plugged into. This is a breakout cable that converts the tiny little PWM connector on the GPU to the Y cable for these Noctua fans on top. And that won't be too hard to do. Got some great access to it right here. I don't know where the customer got this, but I should ask him. That's a nice little dude to buy without having to make your own. I've always made my own. I never really thought to go and buy one. But I like shortcuts, as long as the shortcut produces good results. There we are. So nice. Now we just need one more cable, which is the CPU. Oh, that's the GPU cable. I'm wrong. We need two more cables. This is going to be a little bit different how I usually do it. I like to run this against the top frame rail, which I don't know if you can see. As nice and tight as I can. I'm going to zip tie it off right here. And right here. And I kind of wrap it into a little loop. Did I say 2080 Ti? If I did, I'm sorry. I meant 1080 Ti Mini. I want to get this in here. I'm gonna get this in here, but I want to look good. And I can't crunch the cable if I want to do that. Luckily, I can do this. Yeah, this is a regular 1080 Mini with the fan shroud and fans removed. So how's the audio today? Do we have any popping? I'm hoping that we don't have any popping. There we go. Weird, it was like really wanting to lock in there, click in there. Now we have a nice little loop again. Pinch it right here. Bolt my side panel back on. Good, I'm glad that the audio is now working again mysteriously. I was just thinking, man, it feels like it's time to change the battery again. Audio is great, but the video is not. I don't know what that will be. I'll look at it later. It could be that it's automatically adjusting the bit rate on your end to potato mode. I'll have to check later, like I said. All right, now the CPU cable. That wasn't in his box. I don't think I'm gonna have a problem getting another CPU cable, but CPU cable. Guess I'm gonna pull one for my test bench. Well, no, nothing is working mysteriously. Well, I disagree with you. You have never been in live streaming business before. I used to do troubleshooting for that kind of stuff, and it was always weird. Back in the day when the big companies were doing live streaming for their press releases, the wild west of live streaming before there was such a thing as Twitch and all that. Some very weird things would happen. Thermals are fine with the card. They work. It works great. Or at least with the 1080 Ti. I don't know about the Gigabyte 2070. I can't wait to test it. But I will soon. Okay, is everything good here? Looks like it's good. I shall look at it for my customer tomorrow. And I will bolt it up tomorrow because I don't like doing that before I know that it's working. Number 2. Number 3. That's going to be a big mess. It's already been almost 2 hours. So, I am going to call it a night soon. Siegfried asks, while making any non-stream reviews in the future, you're just trying to promote my new video that is coming out tonight that I'm going to start uploading as soon as I turn off my camera. Good man. The C7 copper in some future vid. Yes, that will be the video not releasing tonight, but hopefully next-ish? Well, anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. There were a little bit less of you on tonight. A lot less of you on tonight. But I'm surprised that we have as many as we do. Thank you for joining me from all over the world to watch me talk about nothing in particular and mess around with a screwdriver and some computer parts. So, I'm almost through these builds. Hopefully we'll do something interesting next week. But until then, I really appreciate you joining. If you want to continue a discussion in the Discord, please do so. And I shall talk to you guys later. Appreciate y'all. Thank you to all the donors. I want to read off the Super Chat donors. Mason Kane. Thank you for your donation tonight, Mr. Kane. Where's the stop streaming button? Oh, I found it. Good night.